This program contains true stories of rescues. All of the 911 calls you will hear are real. Whenever possible, the actual people involved have helped us reconstruct the events as they happened.
Often the best source of hope in a crisis is people committed to doing whatever it takes to try and save a life. I'm William Shatner. Tonight, true stories of danger, heroism, and faith on Rescue 911. We begin on the afternoon of September 3rd, 1989, in Newberg, Oregon, when two young friends got together to enjoy one of their favorite activities. 17-year-old Jeff McCloskey often went to visit his best friend Chris on the Gish family farm.
We were out back target shooting, my 357, and we were shooting over 2x4s. And after a while, we got a little bit tired of shooting the 357, so I went into the house and I picked out my double-barrel 12-gauge.
Nick Gish had trained his son in the safe use of guns.
We heard the normal rat-a-tat-tat of a 357, you know, the normal shot pattern.
All right, I'm gonna have a good time. Load that sucker up, man. We're really gonna see some targets disappear now. Look at the size of those. Ready? Yeah.
The trouble was, the gun he was shooting was chambered for a 2 3/4-inch shell. The shell that he had picked up was a 3-inch Magnum. It went in the gun closed. I don't think I would have noticed the difference. If the gun would have closed, I mean, if it would have chambered, I'd have shot him.
The gun just exploded.
It sounded like a hand grenade went off instead of a shotgun.
Nick headed for the back door. I headed for the phone and immediately dialed 911.
As Nick ran outside, he saw it was his son's friend, Jeff, who was injured.
You could tell there had been a massive amount of damage done, and I clamped off his arm right above the wounded area, and you stop most of the bleeding when you pinch the arm. But when there's that much damage done, you don't stop all of it.
I want you to stay on the line. We'll have some help there.
Susan's call for help came in at 2:43 p.m.
You on the fire channel?
Paramedics dispatched from Newberg Hospital had no idea how grave the situation was.
Right in those few minutes, a lot of prayers went up, because you're holding somebody's life literally in your hand, and you know you don't know what to do about it. All you can do is stop the bleeding and wait.
Chris's sister, Jackie, ran to the end of the driveway to flag down the ambulance.
The operator was trying to tell us to apply direct pressure to the wounded area. That was just really almost impossible, because it was just a jagged wounded area.
I really felt bad because I didn't know what was wrong with the gun or what happened. But that was my best friend laying there. And he could lose his arm right there. He might just end his life right there. And I felt responsible.
When we continue.
He was bleeding to death. And the only thing that was between him and death was my ability to stop that bleeding.
It had been approximately 3 minutes since the shotgun exploded, sending metal ripping through 17-year-old Jeff McCloskey's arm. While those at the scene fought to save Jeff's life, Jackie Gish ran to the nearest road to help guide the medic unit to her house.
I was really scared when I was waiting that they'd come too late and it wouldn't be time enough for Jeff to live. And that's when it really hit me that I might lose this guy who, I mean, for a time he was kind of like my brother.
It was a difficult rural address to find. There were several driveways in close proximity, and they were not well marked. We were met by somebody out at the end of the driveway who looked quite frantic, and that was the first indication that we had a serious injury taking place.
Paramedic Gary Alex and his partner arrived at the farm within 6 minutes.
Anytime we arrive at a scene not expecting something that really hits us hard, there's a moment of disbelief. When I saw him, it was like being hit in the face with a 2x4.
Okay, let me look. You sure? Yeah, let me see. Oh, that's bleeding pretty bad.
He was bleeding to death, and the only thing that was between him and death was my ability to stop that bleeding. I think if the father had not been controlling that bleeding, the patient would have died probably even before we got there. It's very seldom that we need to use a tourniquet to stop bleeding, but in this case I was unable to use direct pressure. I took a blood pressure cuff and inflated it quite high, putting pressure on that artery. That slowed the bleeding down a great deal.
Jeff kept saying, I don't want to die, I don't want to die. And we kept reassuring him that he wouldn't.
My partner in the meantime was starting an IV because we had to replace fluids that had been lost. I got on the portable radio and radioed to my medical control physician.
Amputation. We're going to need some morphine and also probably life flight. He's going to need some vascular surgery.
The physician agreed that the patient should be life flighted from the scene to Portland, to the trauma center up there. He thought he was going to die. If people are severely injured, oftentimes they know they're going to die, and we need to listen to that because sometimes they're right.
Yeah, okay.
Go ahead and just leave it right there, okay?
Jeff's friend was trying to talk him down through all of this, really being good support.
There you go.
Off-duty paramedic Dale Mount overheard the call for help on his radio and rushed to the scene.
I've known Jeff for 2 or 3 years. I met him through his father. His father was teaching me how to play guitar. When I first saw Jeff, my thoughts went back to his father. I was on the scene when his father was killed in a motorcycle accident. I was the paramedic on the scene there. It was tough on me to see Jeff in this much pain, you know, after going through, you know, his father's death.
Jeff, it's Dale. Yeah. Yes, it is, Jeff.
I was thinking, no, this can't happen to Jeff also.
We're going to be starting an IV here.
And he instantly, you know, Dale, you know, you were with my dad, weren't you? I said, yeah. Did my dad suffer? I said, no, Jeff, not like you're suffering right now. And then his next concern was that he was going to die. He said, am I going to die? I told him, Jeff, let me tell you something. The worst that's going to happen. And Jeff says, I'm going to lose my arm. I said, yeah, that's it. And I truly, you know, thought he had a potential to lose his life, but I didn't want to let on to him that I thought that.
We needed to find a place to land the helicopters, so we went up by the gate in the small pasture. I let the livestock out of the pasture so that it would be clear. We had several vehicles to move, and praise the Lord, every vehicle started.
In trauma, we're fighting against time. There's a golden hour. If we exceed that, we've lost the battle. And that's not a golden hour of getting him out of the scene in an hour. That's an hour from the time of the incident until he gets to the surgeon.
The Life Flight helicopter arrived from Portland in less than 15 minutes.
Jeff asked me if I could go along in life flight with him. I had to tell him no. I have to stay here. They have a paramedic on board with a life flight nurse. There's not room. That caused some distress for Jeff. He really wanted me to go along with him.
He's still bleeding pretty soon. Yeah, this is soaking through here now.
That's the point where the emotions start to well up, and you just really fight them back and just let Jeff know you're in good hands.
I started thinking about what really happened, and I started getting real sick. I just didn't see why. I was the one shooting the gun. It should have happened to me.
Then at that point, Christopher finally let down, where at that time we found out he had been hit also.
Let's get him on the ground. Lay him down.
I saw approximately 6 pellet wounds across his chest and his throat. There's no way I could tell how deep they were. Any wound to the chest we need to consider as significant. We put him on board the ambulance and began treatment there with oxygen, IVs, and the heart monitor. As it turns out, the wounds were superficial. That is, they were shallow.
The more seriously injured Jeff was flown to Emmanuel Hospital, where a special trauma team was already waiting for him, headed by surgeon Ben Bachulis.
When they brought Jeff in, it was clear that he was in advanced state of shock. He was very pale, cold, diaphoretic, and I was very concerned about getting control of the hemorrhage and getting some blood back into him. He was bleeding at such a rate that he had lost almost half of his blood volume.
Okay, right there. Got it?
After we had controlled the bleeding, we then evaluated the extremity to see if it could be saved. When we looked at the x-ray, we found that there was a very large piece of metal which was within the depths of the wound. It tore large pieces out of the arteries and veins, but most significant from the standpoint of preserving the extremity was the fact that it tore large segments out of the 3 main nerves which go from the shoulder down to the hand. In this case, there was no chance at all of saving the arm.
Since the accident, Jeff's grown closer to Chris and his family.
I don't trust a family more than I trust the Gishes, and I'm glad I could go through it with them, but I'm not glad that they had to go through it with me. Everybody did their part. Nick did his part, and the paramedics did theirs, and Dale did his, and the doctors did theirs. And if anybody would have taken just a minute or two longer, each of them, then that time would have added up, and time that I didn't have.
There's 2 attitudes you can have when something like this happens. You can go, woe is me, and you can live that life. You can go, I'm sorry for me, I'm sorry for me. Or you can be a little bit like Jeff and go, hey, the rest of me is all right. You know, and that's the way he's been. He doesn't have both wings, but that's okay. He's going to do what he's going to do anyway. It's not going to slow that boy down.
I heard a saying once that says, if it doesn't kill me, it'll make me stronger. And that's so true.
Within 4 months, Jeff relearned how to do everything with his left hand.
I knew he was going to be okay when we went out and played tennis together, and he beat me. And I was really worried when the accident happened that he would not be able to accept not having an arm, and then he'd just become an introvert and not do anything with his life. And I think he's already proved me real wrong, real quickly. I think we're closer friends now. I think we built a better relationship after this accident.
And so I'm not going to let it stop me, because I figure if it stops me from doing things that I like to do, then it's defeated me. And I'm not going to let it defeat me.
Next.
You can be killed in a car crash just as easy as you can be shot. I was scared to death.
Bob and Doris Hart had lived in the same house in the suburbs of Indianapolis, Indiana for 12 years. And each day usually began with the same comfortable routine. But on the morning of March 28, 1991, their lives took an unexpected and shocking turn.
Approximately 7:10 in the morning. Mrs. Hart was upstairs in the shower.
Mom, wake up. Someone's at the door.
Okay, honey.
Okay, I'm coming. Hi, what's happening?
Good morning, sir. Is David home?
No.
Mr. Hart advised Dave doesn't live here anymore. He had a cap on it that said police.
Think I could use the phone?
Sure, come on in. No problem.
Back it up!
Be calm. Take it easy. Dave, there's nobody here but me. Nobody here. Nobody here. Nobody here but me and my wife. And don't hurt anybody. I don't hurt either one.
We need the money.
911, what emergency are you reporting?
North Meridian. Someone's downstairs with my husband, and I heard him hollering, "Don't hurt me and Doris." Please get somebody.
Okay, ma'am, stay on the line with me. Do you have any idea who it is?
Please hurry.
Okay, we will. We'll be en route. Stay on the line with me.
Well, okay, we'll give you some money. We'll give you some money. No problem.
You don't have any idea who it is?
No.
Okay, do you know if there's...
Who is? No. Oh, he's breaking the door down. The police is on the way.
He's what?
The police is on the way, please. Oh, I'm here calling.
Cars north, an intruder in the residence. 0 North Meridian Street. Meridian. Ma'am? Ma'am? God.
128 can divert.
The call was transferred to Marion County Sheriff's Dispatcher Mike O'Day.
Please not hurt. I've had residence robberies where the people have already been gone, but never while it's actually still going on in the residence.
Dispatch 128.
128.
Want me to go ahead and divert or start keep on going to the Colts complex?
Divert.
Okay.
When Deputy Ted Cassidy heard about the intruder, he was just 7 blocks from the scene.
As I got to about 82nd Street on Meridian, dispatch hit me back again and said that they'd just received a panic alarm from that same residence. At that time, I shut down all my siren and my red lights, and I started looking for numbers on the mailbox. Dispatch, I've got a black Monte Carlo pulling out at a higher rate of speed northbound on Meridian Street. I want to attempt to stop it. When the car came right across in front of me, the thought ran through my mind, I'm at the right place at the right time. I think he's going to run from me. He is.
10-4.
We're eastbound on 82nd Street. We disregarded all stop signs. He had no intentions of stopping for anything. We're still eastbound.
10-4. I was trying to find out the direction they were going so I could have other cars and try to get a route for them to go.
I'd be a fool if I didn't say I wasn't scared. You can be killed in a car crash just as easy as you can be shot. I was scared to death. We were running probably 65 mile an hour. Southbound on Whitcomb.
10-4.
136, 180. The gentlemen in the car were lost. They had no idea where they were going. I really believe that if he had have known where he was going, we would have probably been going faster than we were. Eastbound back on 82nd Street again. They're bailing out on me, dispatch. One of them is.
10-4.
He's got on camouflage pants and blue jean jacket. I've never seen anybody jump from a moving car like that except on TV. And they can do anything with TV. Can you copy your plate?
Go ahead.
49 H. Henry 2694.
10-4.
This is a school day. We have children standing out on the streets waiting for the bus. That was was my biggest fear through the whole chase, was that one of these kids was going to step out into the roadway and get hit by him.
On College, northbound.
I saw one of our cars coming southbound on College.
Put your hands where I can see them. Step out of the car. Turn around, put your hands up on top of the car. Step back and spread them.
Apprehension made at 720.
While the first suspect was being positively identified, the search for the second suspect intensified.
We had a white male, blue jean jacket, camouflage pants bail out on us. He may be 1032. Use extreme caution.
The Indianapolis police were also alerted to be on the lookout for the suspect.
1040 units on perimeter. Use caution.
Sheriff's Department canine units combed the neighborhood where the suspect had last been seen. A radio traffic reporter heard about the search on his scanner and broadcast a description of the man.
What we're looking for is a white male about 5'11" with brown hair, a blue jean jacket and camouflage pants who bailed out of a car that was being pursued by the police following an attempted residence robbery. And if you see anyone suspicious, do call the Marion County Sheriff's Department. There's a canine unit in the area looking, and of course we're overhead as well. So we'll keep you advised about this, but this one subject is still at large. Back in a couple. Big John Gillis, WIBC Air Traffic Control.
When we continue.
Yeah, we had a report about a white male that looked pretty suspicious.
Where's he at? I mean, this is an emergency. I've got to know where he's going.
Following a high-speed chase, Marion County Sheriff's deputies successfully captured a suspect wanted in a house robbery. But during the chase, a second suspect, possibly armed, had leaped from the moving car and disappeared into the surrounding neighborhood.
Dispatch, over there.
Yeah, this is Barb at North Security. We had a report from YMCA here at 8400 Westfield Boulevard about a white male about 5'7" or 5'8" with camouflage pants and a jean jacket that looked pretty suspicious.
Where's he at?
Okay, they said he just got into a yellow cab at YMCA. They just left at 8400 Westfield Boulevard. Just got into the cab not more than 30 seconds ago. The cab number is 518.
518? Do you have any direction of travel?
No, they said they just got into it.
Thanks a lot. Bye.
I was just kind of standing there observing because
132.
I was rather anxious to find out if this was the one that jumped from the car from us.
Which direction are you going?
Dispatcher O'Day immediately called the Yellow Cab Company.
Yellow cab.
This is Marion County. I need to find out where your cab 518 is going.
518?
Yeah, he just picked up a subject at 8400 Westfield Boulevard, and that subject matches the description of someone we're looking for that was involved in a residential robbery that occurred about 2 hours ago. Matter of fact, he matched the description to a T.
You don't want him to...
No, I don't want that other guy to hear it. See if you can just ask him for his destination, because you have another run for him or something.
518? 518? 518?
When they put it out, I was right in front of the YMCA, and I said, oh, no cab.
518? He can't respond.
I mean, this is an emergency. I've got to know where he's going.
Okay, let's do it again. 518? 518? He's on the phone right now.
Good.
518? Hi. Where did you just take this gentleman? If this gentleman is still in your cab, he's still in the cab.
Okay, tell me where he's at.
Okay? The police need this gentleman.
Apparently he had a car phone. They got the number of his car phone, and then I in turn called the cabbie.
Okay, sir, this is the Sheriff's Department. I just want you to act normal, act like you're talking to me as a buddy, okay? Okay. Are you guys going south?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you on Washington or Westfield Boulevard?
Washington.
Washington. At 5800.
No, 50th Street.
50th and West Washington. Okay. Cars there at 50th and Washington Boulevard. 50th and Washington Boulevard. You're at 45th.
Well, going 46 down here. Okay. It's gonna take a while for me to get down where I'm going.
He's at 46th and Washington Boulevard at this time. Does this guy have shoulder-length blonde hair, brown hair? Without being, don't worry about it. If you can't see it, don't worry about it.
Okay.
Was he acting kind of nervous when you got in your car?
No.
Just kind of calm and cool?
Yeah.
Alrighty. Is he by himself?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Information, the subject is alone by himself.
Well, I'm at 38th Street right now.
38th and Washington Boulevard?
Yep.
Okay, he's at 38th and Washington Boulevard. You're still going south?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I've got you here on my map. You're 38th.
34th Street, I'm sorry.
Okay, you down 34th Street? Yeah. He's now advising at 34th and Washington Boulevard.
Units from around the city converged on the area, including Officer Ron Breezick.
I noticed a cab coming towards me. It was headed southbound on Washington Boulevard. I thought it was probably the cab.
Oh, we got somebody here stopping now.
Somebody stopping you?
Yeah.
Both of you, put your hands up where I can see them.
In the back of my mind, I was thinking it could be either one of them. I didn't put it past the suspect to have switched seats with the driver. I looked at the driver. He didn't fit the basic description as well as the passenger did.
Slide over. Hands on top of your head, on top of your head. On the ground, on the ground.
I think it all happened so fast he didn't know what happened, and that's exactly what I wanted to happen.
Bernard Lewis was driving cab 518 that day.
So I heard him kind of whimper in the background, low voice. When he was hollering at him to get out, pointing them guns, I heard him say something like, "Who, me?" You know, it's kind of like, why me? What did I do?
Adam 128 Control, we have apprehension of the subject in yellow cab.
Got him. Got him.
Anytime you get a pursuit and you're a dispatcher, your adrenaline just flows. And anytime you can make apprehension on, that's just more or less icing on the cake.
Guy just did a residence robbery up north.
It was interesting the way the cab driver kept his calm through the thing, too. For being what you would call a rookie, I guess, he acted very well.
That's it. No big deal. Just another day in the big city.
The two suspects pleaded guilty to robbery and 3 other charges and were sentenced to 15 years.
If all the crime that's committed in Marion County would end up like that, with apprehensions and convictions and no one hurt, we as police officers would feel like our job was complete.
3 months after the incident, Bob and Doris Hart have gone on with their lives. But they've made a few changes.
We put in an intercom system, and unless we know you, you do not get the door opened. We ask you who you are and what your business is. But it does give you second thoughts of probably about everything that you do.
I don't know. I just have all the praise in the world for 911 now because, you know, I feel like they have enriched our lives because if they hadn't have been here, well, I was scared that I was going to be killed. That's what I was afraid of.
This is a proven fact. With this case, 911 works. You know, use it. We will be more than glad to help you.
Next.
All right, we have an 18-year-old male that was involved in a head-on.
We knew that there could be significant injury because of the velocity that caused that kind of damage.
Sometimes, despite heroic efforts, life does not turn out the way we'd like it to. This story is not a recreation. It's a ride-along with the crew of Bayflight Medical Helicopter in St. Petersburg, Florida, where every day they face the harsh realities of life and death emergencies.
4:52 p.m.
Spring Fire and Rescue, Operator 25.
Yes, there's a bad accident out in front of Forest Oaks Senior Center on Forest Oaks Boulevard.
Okay. Do you know how many vehicles?
I think there's two, but there's another one out there. I don't know whether he's just stopped to help or what.
Okay, ma'am.
They're head on.
Okay, ma'am. I'll go ahead and send them out there, okay?
Thank you. All right. Bye-bye.
Spring Central Rescue 2, Engine 2 at Station 4, DC-1. Respond automobile accident.
The accident is more than a 2-hour drive from the nearest trauma center, so paramedics at the scene request a Bayflight medical helicopter.
Bayflight crew responds, Spring Hill, scene call.
Bayflight crew responds, Spring Hill, scene call.
Bayflight, we have an 18-year-old male that was involved in a head-on. Steering wheel is deformed. Major laceration right side of face involving the cheek down to the lower chin. Possible head injury, multiple lacerations and avulsions. IVs are being started at this time along with controlled bleeding. Over.
Within 17 minutes of the call, the chopper arrives. The chief flight nurse on board is Maurice Brazil.
I'd like to have you sat down in between the pumper and the ambulance.
Okay.
As we're beginning our descent into the area, we noticed the fronts of both of those cars were completely smashed in, like an accordion.
Heavy damage to that Continental.
Okay, you can open your door now. We knew that there could be significant injury because of the velocity that caused that kind of damage.
A local Spring Hill Fire Rescue paramedic, Bob Cox, had arrived 40 minutes before the chopper.
When I reached the first car, the woman who was in the front seat just had a small bruise on her arm. The airbag had inflated and helped her. The next car I found, 18-year-old white male, sitting in the front seat of the automobile. He did not have his seatbelt on. He had a large laceration on the right side of his face. He was losing a lot of blood.
A patient had possible loss of consciousness. At this time, he is awake, alert, unoriented, with retrograde amnesia. He's got a major laceration on the right side with arterial bleeding.
He kept asking the same questions over and over as to what happened, where am I going, can I go to the prom, can I go to the prom? His pressure was dropping.
He's got some major bleeders going, much fatty tissue hanging out all the way through to the mandible.
Imagine a patient who's in a helicopter and there's blood everywhere. You're having weird sensations and you can't move, you can't talk. You don't know what's going on, you're totally confused. But one thing you can notice is there's somebody there with you and somebody to calm you and work with you through it.
We have an ETA 11 minutes. We're in the process of clamping the artery at this time.
Copy that, 1751.
Calling down that artery, it was pumping like crazy. Here, I got both of them clamped off.
"18-year-old Jeff DeLigio is admitted to Bayfront Medical Center, where he's examined by trauma surgeon Stephen Epstein.
Where are you?
What happened to you?
I don't know.
He did not remember the accident, and that is evidence of a cerebral concussion, and that can easily lead to bleeding in the brain.
Jeff is immediately sent for a CAT scan.
Head only, okay.
Try and hold really still, okay? And take some pictures of your head, all right?
Even if both cars are going at 30 miles per hour, the combined rate of speed in a head-on collision is 60 miles an hour. Most people will wind up with bleeding internal injuries.
Jeff's family is notified.
I pulled in the driveway, and I started to get out of the car and walk in the house, and Don came flying out of the house. He said, "Don't come in, get back in the car. Jeff's been in an accident, head on."
You okay?
Hey, buddy.
Come on. Come in. That's all right. Did you meet Dr. Harris? This is Dr. Harris. Dr. Harris is a plastic surgeon.
We went into the emergency room, and the poor kid, I saw his eyes. That's all I think I saw. I saw his eyes. I felt so sorry for him.
it going to be?
We'll pray for you, look, Jeffrey.
He's going to be okay. Don't.
Okay.
He's going to be okay.
Just relax, Mr. Glasgow.
Yeah, I know. Okay.
Just relax.
You know that.
Okay? You're going to be fine.
You're going to be fine. Down. Yeah,
Okay.
down. Good.
Buddy, you're going to be all right.
I said, I wish it was me, not him. He's only 18 years old.
We'll see you afterwards.
I don't want to hurt
Okay. You're going to be okay in a couple of hours, buddy. Okay? Love you, buddy. You're going to be okay, okay?
Okay.
I'll be out here for you.
Everybody's thinking of you.
Why don't we go outside so that we can get him upstairs? Okay.
Though the CAT scan reveals no brain damage, Jeff must be taken up to surgery to try and repair his face. 6:24 p.m.
Could you send an ambulance down here, Holy Court? What's your address? What's the address here, hon? 6728. Okay, what accidentally went into the house and hit his wife with a car? See? Apparently slipped on the gas and then... Okay, I'll get him right there. Please do. All right, bye.
511 515, respond to an accident with injuries in Holiday Park. Be advised the vehicle is inside the home, has struck a person. Yes.
As soon as local rescue units get to the scene, they call for a medical helicopter.
One female patient, amputations proximal to both feet. Mask suit is on, legs are inflated. They have 3 IVs. Blood pressure 112/70. Pulse is 80 and irregular. She's on nitrous and in extreme pain. Copy?
I guess her pressure of 112 was with mask suit inflated.
Yeah, she's an old lady. 112 isn't real good.
Not good.
Okay, yeah, right where they're standing at this.
At the scene, Northport Fire and Rescue, including EMT Howard Bierce, is already working on the 82-year-old woman.
Jet code. Let's go. Yeah.
As we were bringing her down the steps, she was grasping onto my arm and looked up at me and said, "This is the way I don't want to die." The next thing I knew, I was trying to get life back into her with CPR.
Look at them bagger.
We got number 8 right there. We take the 2 inches.
What happened?
The accident. The pedal slipped on me. My foot slipped off the pedal and I hit her into the steps. She was going up the steps to go in.
Yeah. I need 2 8 ET tubes in the knife.
When we got the first look at the patient, we could tell that she had a crushing injury to the chest. We knew that it was going to be very difficult to get any kind of an airway on this lady.
Okay, let me have the tube. Let's go. Tube. Okay, somebody's got check lungs. It's getting tough to bag. It's getting hard. She wasn't having difficulty breathing initially. I'm not sure about this. I'll check it out.
The lady was sitting on her steps, and her husband was sitting beside her. Roughly a minute before the copter touched down, the lady went into cardiac arrest.
We needed to get some kind of an airway in her right away. We're using conventional methods that weren't working, so we had to do what we call a cricothyrotomy into the neck and put a tube in. She's got so much edema in there, I can't even palpate with my finger.
What about getting her some I wish I get to see it once before she goes, that's all.
Yeah. Feel superior and you'll feel the cricoid.
How's it going, right?
Feel the cricoid? Up.
Okay, that's it.
Right here, I got it. Section in there. Go ahead and get 3 more Eppies.
3 more Eppies. Ready? Actually, what I have there, we got to get extra meds, okay?
All right, she's moving. She's breathing.
Now, we got a definite pulse with it, right?
All right, listen.
Definitely strong pulse, both sides.
All right, good. We got to get out of here.
When they said stop CPR, they had pulses back and they did have some respirations. There was a feeling of joy there.
Hey, thanks a lot. You guys did a good job. We have a green alert, an 82-year-old female. BP upon arrival was 0. CPR was administered after we got the chest tubes in. Right now, patient is in a normal sinus to irregular heart rates. Counts for probably about 8 or 10. En route, it was like a roller coaster ride.
we'd get a good response from her, like it's Anna saying, I'm still with you and I'm still coming, you know, and then all of a sudden, she'd go into full arrest again, and just back and forth, and it's a vicious cycle.
There are no change in status other than we do go occasionally into an atrial fib, atrial flutter, then a AFib, and we convert her with precordial thumb. We still need a green alert signal.
10-4, Bay 52001.
Tell Billy. Tell Billy.
Go ahead, Bay 5.
Tell Billy.
Bill, we're going to defibrillate back here. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Didn't even move her. Section, go.
By the time they arrive at the trauma center, rescuers have already been working for more than an hour to try to save the life of the 82-year-old victim.
He's got every drug on board, everything. No matter how hard you work on this type of patient, the outcome is not usually very good.
Keep going. Okay, we'll go 15 minutes from here.
Everybody's energies are focused in on that patient. We pull everything in we can to try to save that patient's life.
Hold on. Got another time, Tom? Yes. Time, it's been about 16 minutes since she's been here.
I don't have nothing about that.
All right.
I haven't got anything with the doctor.
Okay, call.
At 8:20 p.m., the woman is pronounced dead.
Sometimes we even see ourselves or we see our family in that stretcher, and it affects us a lot. You become a part of that patient, now that patient's gone out of your life, that's it.
My name is Mark. I'm one of the chaplains here at Bayfront.
Yeah.
There's a kind of a quiver that happens just for a moment as I realize that I have a very difficult assignment ahead of me, and it doesn't get any easier. Anna died.
Died? Oh, my God.
She died.
Oh, no. Oh, God. Oh. Oh.
I'm so sorry. Anna's pain was over, but Kenneth is just starting to experience a pain that he will have to live with for a long time. He's just beginning to say goodbye to someone who's been a part of his life for longer than many of us have even been alive. The other thing that you need to decide about is if you think Anna would want to be a cornea or an eye donor.
Oh, well, she wouldn't mind that. I mean, it's just like myself.
That'd be all right with her?
Yeah, it was all right with her and all right with me. She said if they can help somebody else, she's happy to any time.
We can always give. And Anna has given somebody the chance to have vision, and hopefully vision of happiness through her death.
A day after 18-year-old Jeff DeLigio's accident, he is already well on the way to recovery.
Hi, Jeff. Hi.
I guess I am pretty lucky. A lot of people lose their lives because they don't wear the seatbelts, and it is very important that you do wear your seatbelts and watch how you drive.
You looked in the mirror yet?
Yeah.
Dr. Harris did a great job.
Yeah.
Big difference.
It is, from day and night.
No.
It is a miracle that he is still with us today. According to the doctors, he came close to losing his life. And Bay Flight made a big difference, and I'm thankful for them.
You're talking about going to the prom? When is that?
Well, it's next weekend.
Next weekend?
All my friends that, that showed up at the hospital, and I said, I may not go to the prom, that I had a few cuts on my face. They said, who cares? Go anyway. Everybody has a senior prom once, and that's it. It's time just to be with your friends and not have to worry about anything else.
Real big smile, 1, 2, 3.
The classmates of Jeff and his girlfriend Patty Perez crowned them king and queen of the prom that night.
He didn't think he was going to be able to go to the prom, and I didn't want to go without him. Now it's here, and it's just something I want to remember for the rest of my life and keep with me always.
Oh, God. Show them your face. You still have it.
There's a little bit of hero in everybody, I suppose. The people that flew him over, the people that stitched him up, and himself. He's the biggest hero of all because he dealt with it and he's fine.
We may never be called upon to help someone in need, but we can all help save lives by giving blood through a local hospital or the American Red Cross. This series is dedicated to all the men and women who choose to get involved when a life is at stake. I'm William Shatner. Join us again next week for more true stories
on Rescue 911.